And we talked then about peering into the future and what the future would look like. And we talked about the fact that we were really creating a metaphor for what the future of this state, this community, and indeed this country had to be. As we think about the competition we face for unskilled work around the world, it's going to be very difficult to meet that competition. And we're going to have to change. And with only 5.5% of the population of the world, we're blessed with the fact that we have about 90% of the greatest universities in the world. And so that has to be put to work. And we have to put economic development together with what we're doing across the country at our universities in terms of producing intellectual property. We produced this last year $280 million of sponsored research projects at the University of Oklahoma. A lot of that it breaks all records. A lot of that has to do with the fact that in a little over a decade we've moved from 100 endowed professorships to over 500 endowed professorships. Many of these in the skilled area that bring about research, that bring about discovery of new intellectual property. Our intellectual property office, and there are several who work with it here, have helped bring into creation, in partnership with private entrepreneurs like Bart, some 40 new businesses in our community and our state, in central Oklahoma, principally in just the last decade. So it really is the future. It is allowing us to glimpse into the future. You think about this research park. University's now committed $200 million into this research park, 750,000 square feet, now fully occupied. And we talked about the fact that where we are along Jenkins would be the basic scientific buildings, the basic research facilities of the university. Next to it, where there was also nothing at that time, we talked about our private partners we would begin to see their facilities go up. We have 3 of those buildings now. We're going to have 4 of them. And then we talked about the support facilities that would be just further to the east. Now we've already seen police there. We've seen our new transportation center there. We've seen other support facilities. And we're just now beginning. And what we see now is nothing compared to what is eventually going to be here and the kind of impact. The impact's enormous. It was $2.5 billion on central Oklahoma last year of what is coming out of the university. We had a study made of just what students and the visitors to all of our facilities, including our museums, all of the events, $345 million a year spent in Norman by people who come to visit university events. 41,000 jobs now created in central Oklahoma on an annual basis that are supported. 43,000 new jobs, and this was a study by the State Chamber of Commerce, and now we're really beginning in another area because the first great leap forward occurred in the life sciences, in bioengineering, the life sciences, and the rest of it in central Oklahoma. And they indicated that 43,000 very high-paying jobs have been created in the life sciences, spun off basically from university research, both here on the Norman campus and in Oklahoma City in the last decade. And now it's really exciting to see us moving into the financial support and financial services industry, because with risk metrics here now, and they have been such a great success story with very high-paying jobs. Our students walk across the street, go to work at about $80,000 a year, begin to improve all the way on up as time goes along. These are very high-paying jobs. And now with the 2 of you together in that one building, we'll have 200 jobs in the financial services industry, which of course is an area of great growth for our economy. And so we're going to see that become part of the story for Norman and for central Oklahoma as time goes along and as you have this growth. So it really does give us the ability to peer into the future. And it gives us great optimism for what can be done. It can be done. The United States can remain economically vital. We can continue to provide economic and political leadership for the rest of the world. And we do it in 2 ways. We do it by being the best, by setting the highest possible standards of excellence, turning out the kind of young people that you're already hiring. And we have been talking about it and about Bart's visits with some of those that he's been recruiting already. And some of them have already been up to Connecticut to work with other employees that he has there. They will be basically marketing in New York, where they'll retain, of course, offices in the New York area. And we were talking a moment ago, a lot of the operational headquarters, the largest center of operations, will be here. And then they'll have other offices around the world. Did you tell me London and Hong Kong? So we were talking about his business card, which is now going to say New York, Hong Kong, London, and Norman. And that's kind of a nice combination that we really like. So I simply want to say what a day of celebration this is. We've had a wonderful relationship between the university and the community. Never has this university asked this community for anything that it has not done. And I think that together, never have any of our private partners asked us for anything that we've not been able to say yes to. And that's certainly what we're going to say yes to Bart as he is getting started up, as Agio is really moving out. I might tell you that already Agio has agreed it's a two-way street. They are also going with their employees and their leaders to give tech talks to students at the university and to provide some scholarships in critical areas like information management and computer science and other areas of great importance to them. And of course, we're also going to agree to do research projects. Faculty members are already going to be involved with them that will meet the needs of Agio. So it's a day of celebration. It's a day of optimism. It's a day in which we all are given a chance to peer once again into the future. And we like so much what we say and what we see. And we're so glad, Bart, to be able to say to you, welcome back home. Thank you for being part of our future. Thank you very, very much.
President Boren, from all of us, the vision that you've had to take what was here and create what we have today and what we're going to have in the future, I don't know how we can thank you enough for having that leadership and taking that step forward and making that investment. So thank you very much. I want to introduce to you the man of the hour. Bart McDonough is CEO and founder of Agio Technologies. He grew up in Edmond, graduated from Edmond Memorial High School. He attended the University of Oklahoma and then went to work in the financial services industries for American Express Financial Advisors in Oklahoma, went to Texas with them, then was called by Manhattan and Wall Street. He worked for an investment banking firm, Sanford Bernstein, for Optimoc Technologies, for Bluestone Capital Partners. He was brought to SAC Capital in 2001. When he left in January to start this company, he was a managing partner with SAC Capital. So please help me welcome Bart McDonough.
So I actually have to follow David Boren and Bob Stoops. Is that? I'm not sure if that's right. So there's one person in this audience that I will trust with this football. And so 1 second while I give it to him. We'll cycle back to him in a second. So, as we are a technology company, I'm using the iPhone as my cue cards here. So, give me 1 second as we get this started. So, I wanted to start off just by thanking President Boren and the university for hosting this event. This is a little overwhelming to have this many people. I'm glad to know it's the largest, but it's a little nerve-wracking to start off. Before I kind of get into the who, what, when, where of Agio, why we started it, what we're doing, what we've been doing, what we're going to do, there's a couple groups I want to thank. First, Don. Don has been spectacular from the beginning. Don and his entire staff. It was September of this past year. I shot Don an email along with a bunch of other economic development groups across the country, even one internationally. And NEDC was far superior